Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2018 and the third part of this experiment where we've created the perfect goalkeeper in the game. Now you can see here on the screen his biography. If you missed the last couple of parts you should go back and watch them because they were quite interesting. But as you can see on the screen at the moment he's at Manchester City after leaving Hartlepool. He's actually played quite a lot of games for City. He's got 3 Premier League titles and an International League and a European Championship, even more importantly, with England. He's got an FA Cup, 4 Carabao Cups and 3 Community Shields, but he has not yet won the Champions League, which is the one big thing missing from his CV. So what we're going to do today is take this £52 million player forward 5 more years, because he is in the prime of his career at 27 years old. I mean, for goalkeepers it lasts considerably longer than for outfield players, but between 27 and 32 tends to be when a player is at his peak, although people might dispute for goalkeepers it's a little bit older than that. But we'll see what happens to him in the game and if he can win that elusive Champions League title. You can see from his current stats he's not getting above the 7-point rating over a season very often, which is incredibly disappointing given how good a player he is and given how many clean sheets he's getting as well, which is here. But most games he's not even conceding goals, so it's quite frustrating he's not getting that 7-point rating. So we're going to go forward now 5 years and see where he's got up. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you're still enjoying this, and also if you want to see another part to this. I don't know how much more this has got to run, so drop a like if you want to see another part to this experiment, but do subscribe for the next experiment when it does come out in a few days' time. Well, we are now 5 years into the future. This is where we left off with Man City last time. They'd struggled in the league for a few seasons by this point, and so we're hoping that they can get back to title-winning form. But if we go forward to the most recent one, you can see Stones and Sane getting testimonials, must be retiring soon. Champions League group went pretty well, managing to get past PSV quite easily. A couple of draws with PSG and a couple of wins over PSV. League going okay, I think. I mean, a few defeats in there, including to Man United. That's 4 defeats already. Champions League knockout stages, drawn with Barcelona, 1-1 draw at home, followed up with a 2-0 win away at the Nou Camp, to put them into the quarterfinals. They also beat Arsenal in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup 2-1 in extra time after a replay there. And then also beat Roma 2-0 away from home in the quarterfinals of the Champions League and 2-0 at home, taking them into the semi-finals of the Champions League. They did lose to Spurs though, 2 late goals for Spurs, knocking Man City out there. But they beat PSG. Now remember, they drew them twice in the group stage, but in the semi-finals they were knocked out by PSG, 2-1 on aggregate. The 1-0 home win, not enough to take them through, and I'm pretty sure losing 5 or 6 Premier League games might also cost them the Premier League title, but we'll have a look at that in a little bit. If we go to the next season, you can see the Champions League again. Pretty good start. I mean, the draw in Monaco, not ideal, but winning all of their other games, and also getting through the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. In the semi-final, they had Arsenal win 3-1 in the first leg and 3-0 at home for a 6-1 aggregate win. Beat Aston Villa 4-1. Spurs in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and then they lost to Real Madrid away at the Bernabeu this time. 1-0 win against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup final. That'll give them some pleasure. Then beat Swansea 2-1 in the league, West Brom 4-0, Stoke 4-0, and Real Madrid 3-0, overturning that defeat with a great home performance to get them into the semi-finals again, also through into the quarterfinals again, also into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Nice long winning streak with so many clean sheets. That's what we want to see. Then they beat Cologne of all clubs in the quarterfinals, 3-0 at home and 2-0 away. Not really a difficult tie, that. Knocked out by Chelsea in the FA Cup after extra time, and they lost 2-0 to Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Champions League first leg of the semi-final. In the second leg, 2-0, and I think they've taken that on penalties as well. So they're into another Champions League final, which they've won, finally, 3-2. Not exactly the clean sheet that Scott Maloney would have been dreaming about, but he does now have a Champions League title in his trophy cabinet. An excellent result for him. It looks like they probably won the league this season as well, because they won so many league games. So an incredible performance to get them that Champions League title, beating PSG and getting a measure of revenge there. Now, we've still got a few seasons to go through, so we'll speed it up. They have won the European Super Cup, his first time winning that, with Alonso getting a hat-trick in that one. Also won the Community Shield, so after a pretty good start. I mean, a beautiful start in the league here. So many clean sheets, but unbeaten all the way through before losing to Chelsea. 6-1 in the semi-final of the Club World Championship, and then 3-1 against Shanghai means that they are on track to win everything this season. Still going in the Carabao Cup, getting past Chelsea in the semi-final, losing to Brighton in the league, but the wins kept on coming. Beaten by Benfica 2-1 away though, but they have beaten Arsenal, so they're still on track for winning every trophy. Premier League looks pretty good at this point. Also managed to come back against Benfica and make it into the quarterfinals, which they've also made in the FA Cup. But a 0-0 draw with Chelsea in the first leg of their Champions League quarterfinal was followed up with a 1-1 draw at home, which means they've gone out on away goals. So unfortunate, they won't be winning everything this season. FA Cup still going well though, and they did win in the FA Cup final 4-3, the final result there. So the Champions League, by the looks of it, the only thing they didn't win in the 29-30 season. Again, the following season, already lost the Community Shield, not in the European competition, so can't go for that excellent sextuple. But they're doing very well in the league and Champions League. Defeat to Chelsea here, but still going in the Carabao Cup before losing 3-1 to Man United and getting knocked out on... Oh no, have they gone through on away goals there? I think they've gone through on away goals there. They did, and then lost to Swansea in the final. A ridiculous way to lose that competition. Through in the Champions League though, out of the FA Cup, and then out of the Champions League as well. So a very disappointing season in the year 31. Following season, Community Shield win for them means they win the title. Very good start in the Champions League, won in the FA Cup, and through in the first knockout round, Colton again there. Beat Monaco 4-0 on aggregate in the quarterfinals. Semi-finals against United, 2-1 at home and a 1-0 away means they went out on away goals, not in the FA Cup final. So that means disappointment for them in that final season. If we have a look at the Premier League title, go back to that league table and drop back to the 27-28 season, which is the first one of this experiment. You can see they did miss out on the title there, 3 points to United. They then won it by just 2 points the following season, with Chelsea and United 2 points off the title. The following season, a much more comfortable gap, 10 points over Spurs, and then 16 points over Liverpool, a huge margin there, before losing out to United by 5 points last season. So this past winners of the Premier League looking very two-team race at the moment. Man City winning it 4 times, then United winning it 4 times, and City winning it 3 times. And I presume United could go on to get it 3 times as well now. So a little bit unusual the way all of that is working out. If we have a look at Man City, you can say Diego Simeone currently in charge of City. Scott Maloney now the captain of Man City in their 55,000 seat stadium. If we take a look at Scott Maloney, you can see his bravery has now dropped down to 18, but everything else looking good. Still valued at 54 million and earning 325k a week as a goalkeeper, which is not bad. Now got 120 caps for England, so still going there. If we look at his career stats, you can see he's had a few seasons where he's got a 7.21 now, so he is getting those ratings up. I mean, 25 clean sheets in the league that season is pretty special. And the highest is achieved so far as well. Overall that season he got 32 clean sheets, which I don't think is his highest. He had 33 the season after, 36 the season before, so it was the league that he was shining that season, not the cup competitions. But overall done pretty well, racking up the clean sheets for Man City. No doubt he'll have the record for most clean sheets in the Premier League's history once this is all said and done, because he's hitting 38 games every single season. I have to excuse my voice, it is going at the minute. And then if we look at his milestones, going back, actually we should have a look at the England setup before we do that. We have a quick look at England and drop back 5 years through the schedule. Then when we left off last time, they had beaten Italy in the International League final. European qualifying went very, very well, a lot of wins there. And then in the European Championship, were knocked out in the group stage. Macedonia getting a 2-0 win over them, which is pretty embarrassing. And a defeat to Germany in the final match meant they were knocked out of the European Championship. The following year, World Cup qualification went perfectly, not the most difficult group in the world. And in the World Cup, 0-0 draw with Belgium, 3-1 over Iran, 2-0 over Nigeria, but losing to Russia with a late penalty meant they got knocked out, because I didn't realise that was a group stage match after the draw with Belgium. So they were knocked out in the second round to a 92nd minute penalty. Not good enough there. European League went well, but they're down in Group B now. And no qualifying, which means they must be hosting the next European Championship. So a home tournament to look forward to. They beat Croatia 3-2 at Old Trafford, lost at Villa Park 2-1 to Poland, but beat Austria 2-0. And now they've got Romania at Hillsborough up next, which you will find out in the next part of this experiment. So do make sure you subscribe if you want to see if they can win the European Championship on home soil. But at the moment, England's trophy cabinet not been improved over this 5-year period. You see they've got that European Championship in the bag now in 2024 and the 2027 International League as well. But still some way to go. If we have a quick look at their senior squad and see the calibre of player that they've got as they try and take on this European Championship. In terms of value, they've got an £82 million player, David Utteridge there, a couple of 78s. There's a lot of value in this England team. They should be doing incredibly well, it has to be said. I mean, David Utteridge here for Liverpool, valued at £82 million. Been at Liverpool since leaving Northampton, very, very young, and doing reasonably well. I'm not sure quite where he's getting this valuation from, but he seems to be doing quite well, and England have got a very, very good team to support Scott Maloney going forward now. If we have a look at his milestones finally and drop back to 2027, quite a way back, he's had a lot of honours. Then you can see in this season, named in England's best 11, a few team of the weeks, won the Golden Glove in the Premier League and in the best 11, International League there, became Man City vice captain that year as well. Another Golden Glove in 2028. Goalkeeper of the season, 3rd place, and then finally named England captain in 2028 and Man City captain in 2029 before winning the Carabao Cup, Premier League and Champions League all in one season. A very successful year for him there, England captain and Man City captain. Super Cup and Community Shield followed. He was goalkeeper of the season in the Champions League as well and in the Dream Team. Won the Club World Championship, goalkeeper of the year in 2029 and in the World Team of the Year in 2029. Not likely to get Golden Ball as a goalkeeper, but that's a pretty good success there. Carabao Cup win, Premier League win, Golden Glove, FA Cup winner, goalkeeper of the season in the Champions League. Team of the Week's Goalkeeper of the Year in 2030 as well. Premier League winner, another Golden Glove. Broke the English Premier Division record for clean sheets in the season with 25. Still going. Goalkeeper of the Year again in 2031. It looks like that is definitely his competition. And if we have a look at the Goalkeeper of the Year award, then we can see that you can't actually have a look at the Goalkeeper of the Year award. I don't know why that doesn't have a link on it, but we search World Goalkeeper of the Year, then it does actually have an award, it's just not hyperlinked. So here you can see he's won the last 3 Goalkeeper of the Year's award, taking it from Huell Matthews of Man United, which will make the City fans quite happy. 3 years in a row now he's won it. Huell Matthews finishing just behind him this year, but missing out the 2 years before, beat a Scotsman a couple of times there as well. But Huell Matthews seems like a decent Premier League competitor. £57 million is Welsh goalkeeper. So England, Wales and Scotland all seem to have excellent goalkeepers at the minute. If we look at this Scottish one, Steve McKenzie, then he's valued at 49 million as well. So the home nation's doing very well for goalkeepers at the moment. And Scott Maloney, a hat-trick of Goalkeeper of the Years now. And I'm sure that will continue. He's got quite a few years left in his career. So do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this part of this experiment. Make sure to subscribe for another part if I do choose to do one. Drop a like on the video to let me know you want another part. But until next time, see ya.